Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In the recent video that I did on 11 mistakes that parents make with chores, I promised you guys that in the next video, I would show you what is on my kids' chore checklists. Well, I did sneak in one video in between these two. Sorry about that if you were looking forward to this video. But I am finally revealing what is on my 8-year-old's and my 5-year-old's morning and evening routines. If you're new to my channel, I'm Kassy, and I like to make videos all about how to simplify your life so you can get 7 extra hours a week for yourself. So if that sounds like something you would be into, please subscribe down below and ring the bell next to it so you can be notified when the next video comes out. So let's go ahead and get right into these morning and evening routines or chore checklists or whatever you want to call them. To me, the morning and evening routine is the same thing as their checklists because their chores are incorporated into their routines. And the reason for this is it creates a habit that you then don't have to micromanage. So let's just go ahead and start with the 5-year-old's daily routines. And this template here is something that is in my autopilot workbook, and I will put a link to that in the description down below if you would like your kids' checklist to look like this one, or you can easily just get a piece of paper and create your own. So first, let's just look at her morning routine. The first thing on her checklist is brush teeth. The second one, while she is already in the bathroom, is drink water. And for the 5-year-old, I do put these on separate lines. She gets to make a check mark for brushing teeth, or a heart in her case because she's in the 5-year-old little girl heart phase instead of check marks. But she gets to do that for brushing teeth and drinking water. And the reason for this is I used to bulk items on one line to make the list look shorter. And what I actually found worked much better, especially for the younger one, is to make it very, very simple, one thing on each line, even if it seems like they go together. So for me, drinking water, it just makes sense to have that with brushing teeth, but when I pulled that onto the second line, I had a much higher success rate of getting them to do the thing. So after she is in the bathroom brushing her teeth, drinking water, she goes back into her room and she makes her bed. After her bed is made, she gets dressed, then she puts her pajamas away. And again, this is on a separate line than getting dressed. I used to group them, but I found it much better to separate these out, especially for the younger one. You'll see on the 8-year-old's checklist, some more things are grouped because she's older, she already knows the basics of the routine, and it's a little easier for her. Also, I write down put pajamas away because sometimes the pajamas are just fine to be reworn and sometimes they need to be put into the washer. So I word it this way specifically so that they take a look at their pajamas and see, does it belong in the washing machine or should I put it back in my drawer? After the pajamas are put away, they make sure that their room is clean. Now, the girls currently share a room. So when I say clean room on their checklist, for the 5-year-old, I'm expecting her things to all be put away. And if I look in the room after she has checked it off, then I will assume I won't see anything of hers. That's how we work it out now since they are sharing a room. After the room is clean, she does her devotions, memory verse, and prayer. And since she's only 5, I really love the Bible on Living Sound. They have a little old MP3 player and a little speaker in their room, so there's no internet access. It's only the things that we put on the MP3 player, and they have the whole Bible on Living Sound on there, and they also have your story hours on there, which are all really good moral stories, and they can listen to those for their devotions if I'm not able to read to them, or in her case, if her sister's not able to read to her. Then she is to unload the dishwasher. Now, this is the point in her checklist where she can eat breakfast. She needs to unload the dishwasher first because if she doesn't do it first, it holds everyone up with being able to clean the kitchen and it keeps everyone else from being able to put their breakfast dish in the dishwasher. So she does need to unload that before she eats breakfast. Then after breakfast, she needs to put her breakfast dish in the dishwasher. Then she needs to do her morning chore. Now, like I mentioned in the last video, my 5-year-old likes much more variety than my 8-year-old does, so her morning chore actually rotates throughout the week. Now, I'm not going to take the time to get into that in this video, but in the next video that I put out, and I'm pretty sure it will actually be the very next video this time. I'm not going to try to do any other videos in between, but I'm going to show you how I coordinate my cleaning routine with her chore routine. So her morning chore does change from day to day, and she has 5 different ones that she does throughout the week. Then she needs to practice her violin. And then the very last thing that I put on their checklists is a bonus. And I go into a little bit more detail about the bonuses, again, in that last video with the 11 mistakes parents make with chores. So be sure to check that out if you would like more information on the bonuses. But so far, this has been a good week for her with bonuses, and she is 3 for 3. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes for that. Now, moving on to the evening routine. Her evening routine starts with folding her clothes. Starting around age 3, I have had all of my children so far, and hopefully it will continue with the little boy, learn how to fold their own clothes. Now, it's not perfect, but I start teaching them the proper way. I like to use the KonMari method for folding, especially for the kids' clothes. It's pretty easy for them to learn, and it just is a good way for them to gain some independence and start doing chores right away. So once they are able to fold their own clothes, that's no longer my responsibility. Now, they can fold their clothes at any point after they are ready to be folded, and the evening routine doesn't necessarily have to be done one right after the other, the way that I like them to do the morning routine. So sometimes she gets her clothes folded before lunch, and then she doesn't have to worry about anything else until dinner. The next thing on her evening routine is to help make dinner. And this is very much one that I do not remind them about. This is all up to them. And whether or not they get their bonus very much depends on if they help make dinner. And what this means for us is when they see mom or dad starting to make dinner, they need to come to the kitchen and say, what can I do to help? And if we say, oh, there's nothing right now, you're good, that counts. That counts as helping make dinner as long as they checked in. But sometimes we need them to chop something. Sometimes we need them to watch their little brother if we need to do something and he is fussy. They need to be helping in some way. And I really like having this on their checklist because I've also found it is good when we're at other people's houses. They are getting into that habit of when they see someone in the kitchen preparing a meal, they are much more likely than they used to be to go up and say, hey, is there anything I can do to help? So I highly recommend putting this one on your kids' checklists if they are old enough. Then she needs to put her dinner dish in the dishwasher. She needs to put on her pajamas. She needs to put her clothes away. And again, if her clothes aren't dirty and if they've only been worn once, she can put them neatly back in her drawer. Or if they need to be cleaned, she can put them in the hamper. Then she needs to brush her teeth. And then we have some family worship. So we usually just read a Bible story. Depending on how quickly they get everything done, sometimes we will sing some songs or something like that. But we like to just have a little bit of Bible time before the kids go to bed. And then the last thing on the checklist is go potty. And yes, I do put that on their checklist because when I don't, they will climb into bed and we'll be getting them all tucked in and they'll say, oh, I forgot to go potty. And then you have to start all over, waiting for them to go to the bathroom, come back into the room, tuck in, all of that stuff. So I find it's just much better to put it on the checklist, and then when they say their checklists are done, I also know that they have gone potty and done the things that they need to do. So for this one, now on Sunday, they did not get a bonus, which is pretty typical for Sunday evenings. It's rare that they actually get a morning bonus even on Sunday because we are often really busy going and doing fun things as a family. But this Sunday we happened to be home. They got their morning bonus. But in the evening we actually had a little birthday party for my 8-year-old. She wanted to do a little cooking class birthday party where she and her friends cooked the dinner. So we were busy in the evening and they didn't get to everything on their checklist, which is no big deal. Now when that happens, what they do, and I'll see if I can make it so you all can see it on here. If there is something that they did not do, they will put a little X. Oh, can I do it? They'll put a little X instead of the check or the heart or whatever they're putting on there. And then they'll also do a little X by the bonus if they didn't get the bonus. And that's just a little way that they keep track of going through their checklist, saying, did we do this? Did we not do it? And going from the top to the bottom. Instead of just leaving items blank, it's actually saying, nope, we didn't get that done, and that's why we didn't get that bonus. So now I will show you my now 8-year-old's checklist. Can't believe I'm saying that, but here's what hers looks like. I do have the brush teeth and drink water grouped together on her checklist because she's 8, she can handle that. Then she makes her bed, gets dressed, then she starts the washing machine. So she takes the hamper from my room where we keep the hamper, puts the load into the washing machine, and she starts the clothes. Then she cleans her room, does her devotions, memory verse, and prayer. Then she checks her plant. She has a little cactus that she likes to take care of that my grandma gave her, and that just takes a minute or less because it's just a matter of checking to see if it needs water, which is very infrequent. Then she is to switch the laundry from the washer to the dryer, start the dryer. Then she eats breakfast. Now, sometimes she eats breakfast before she switches the laundry. It just kind of depends on how long it takes her to clean her room and do her devotion time. Then once breakfast is done, she is in charge of cleaning up after breakfast. Now, I am going to say here, this is not every single day of the week. It is just during the weekdays. It's not on the weekend. Because during the weekdays, we eat generally oatmeal or something that is very easy to clean up. And on the weekends, my husband often actually likes to cook more elaborate brunches. So when he does that, we don't expect her to clean up after that. And typically I will actually clean up after breakfast since he did the cooking in that situation. So I don't recommend for an 8-year-old to be doing tons of cleanup for big family meals. But for something simple like breakfast, she is more than capable of doing this, and I think just about every 8-year-old would be. Then she cleans one of the toilets. Like I said in the other video, she likes monotony. She would rather do the exact same routine every single day of the week than to have different chores. So she actually asked for the laundry and cleaning up after breakfast and the toilets versus her sister's, where her sister has a lot more variety, which I found really interesting. I mentioned in the other video, I never thought of that until my 8-year-old actually mentioned it. So it's been working really well, and I do recommend tailoring your kids' checklists to their personality and preferences as much as you can. So we have 3 toilets in our house, and she does the downstairs one on Monday, kids on Tuesday, parents Wednesday, kids on Thursday, and downstairs again on Friday. The downstairs and the kids' bathroom get the most traffic, and it's just nice for those to be cleaned twice a week. Now, I will say we did not always clean a toilet every single day, but it's just working well for now with the amount of people that we have in our house using bathrooms to do it this way. And since she does clean a toilet every single day, the toilets don't get that dirty, and it takes her a very small amount of time to clean the toilet when she does this. So if you're feeling like I don't want to clean a toilet every day, you don't have to. This is just how it worked out for her chore routine when we were dividing everything up. Then she sorts the laundry. So after the laundry is all clean, all done, she puts everyone's laundry into a pile. So she puts all of my laundry in one pile, my husband's in one, her sister's in one, and then she folds her laundry and the baby's laundry. And again, you may be thinking, well, that's not fair. She shouldn't have to fold the baby's laundry. She actually asked to fold the baby's laundry because she thinks his clothes are cute. So she folds hers and her brother's laundry. And the rest she just sorts, and then I fold my husband and my laundry, and my 5-year-old folds her own laundry. And then the last thing on her list is practice her cello and piano. Now, she has been doing music for quite a while, and she has only done one instrument up until very recently. So I don't recommend starting your kids on more than one instrument until they are very comfortable with practicing, they know what it means to practice, and you aren't having to really micromanage the practicing too much. She started violin at 5, and then this January, so about 6 months or so ago now, she switched to cello. And just within the last couple of weeks, she asked me, Mom, can we be a little bit more consistent with piano? Can you teach me once a week? And I practice it and put it on my checklist and things like that. So she's very driven and she's very excited about learning music. That is the only reason that I put it on her checklist to do too. Typically, I would say only have one instrument that they have to practice every day. And if we are really busy and she doesn't get to the piano, that doesn't affect whether she gets a bonus or not. She only has to practice her cello every day. And then the last item on her checklist is the bonus. Now, one other thing that I have on the 8-year-old's checklist that I didn't on the 5-year-old's is next to each and every item, I have the number of minutes that I think each item should take. And like I mentioned in the other video, I'm very generous with the times on here. It should take much less time than I actually give her. And it works really well because it's an amount of time that I think is very doable, but it also doesn't allow her to just sit around and not be focusing on what she needs to do. So then her evening checklist starts with help make dinner. Now, for her, this really should have a little asterisk next to it because she's in swim team and 4 nights of the week, she isn't home when we're making dinner. So if she's not able to help make dinner, we don't count that against her. She just has to help more with the cleanup, and we are fine with that. But I keep it on here because I want her any of the evenings that she is home to still be needing to check that off. Then instead of just putting her dinner dish in the dishwasher, she is to help clean up after dinner. So this isn't me just saying, all right, clean up, have a good time. This is me or my husband in the kitchen with her until the job is done. And we generally aren't just in another room doing something else while she is cleaning. Every once in a while that will happen if there isn't a lot to clean up and I need to do something else. But more often than not, we are cleaning together after every meal. And again, I think this is just a really good habit to be in, to clean up right away. And it's just getting her in that habit from an early age. Then she has put on pajamas, brush teeth, family worship, and go potty. And yes, I do put that on her checklist as well for the reasons that I already mentioned. And at the top here, I also put a little reminder for her to focus and move with purpose. She is a very social child, and if there's anyone else in the room, she has a really hard time not just stopping what she's doing and striking up a lovely conversation with them. She's very, very friendly and sweet in her personality. But it is a struggle for her to focus and to really work through moving through the things that she needs to do. So I just put that little reminder on there for her to be able to see every day so she can look at that and think, oh yeah, I need to be moving, I need to be working through this, and then I can relax. Now, you may have noticed that my kids have a lot on their morning checklists, and then they have a little bit less on their evening checklists. The reason for this is we are homeschooled, so we don't have to be getting out the door at any specific time of the day. And it works well for us to just get all of our things done, or at least a lot of our things done first thing in the morning, and then the kids have more freedom throughout the day. If your kids go to school though, I recommend putting more of their routine in the evening, more of their chores and things like that, so that they'll actually have time to do it and you won't be feeling so rushed. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up because that helps more people find it. And of course, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this. Did this give you ideas for things you can put on your kids' checklists? Or do you think this is way too much? Do you think I'm kind of crazy for the things that I expect my kids to do? I will be very interested to see your comments down below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you would like to see the video I am putting out next week with my updated chore routine for myself, my updated weekly cleaning routine, and I will again show you how that coordinates with my 5-year-old's morning chores. All right, guys, that's all for this one, and I will see you on the next video.